Alright guys, I'm going to be showing you how to install RuneLite on a tablet using an S9, Tab S9 Ultra. First thing you're going to need to do is download Termux, and you're going to have to get this from F-Droid. I'll be sure to show you exactly what link to use. I'm just going to search it. Then you're going to choose that one. If you don't want to listen to me, you can go ahead and mute the video, and I show everything in the video, and I'll leave copy and paste instructions in the description. You're going to open up that link, and you're going to choose the most recent one. And I'll show you which one. And it's going to be 0.118.0. And it'll say suggested as well, and you'll download the APK. We're going to wait for it to download. I think here in a second, instead of waiting, I start getting the next step going. We'll see here. Yeah, so I'm going to download VNC or Nginx. It looks like I'm doing Nginx. You're going to install that. It's a free app. And now the file's downloaded. I tried to install it from the notification bar, and it just wasn't working, so I apologize. I ended up having to open up Firefox and just go to the downloads and do it from there. I'm not sure why that worked. I would just go to downloads and do it from there. It's going to prompt you to enable Firefox to install apps. Just click the mark. It'll bring that right back up on a Samsung tablet. You're going to install it. Then you're going to hit open. And you're going to allow it to send notifications. From there, you're going to go back to the Play Store. You're going to open Nginx. Now, you're going to see an error up here. Process completed signal 9 Termux error. Basically, it's going to keep killing the process because there's too many, and Samsung doesn't let you disable that by default. So we're going to go in software info and tap build number 7 times. And now you'll be a new setting at the bottom called developer. And we need to enable the ability to send some ADB commands. I'm showing it this way because this way you don't need another computer, but it is much easier to just connect to a computer with ADB. But this way is how to do it without a computer. You're going to choose pair device with parent code. I'm going to go back here and install ADB first though. And again, I'll put all these command lines in the description in the order that you will need them. I think right now I'm looking up what the command is. So just give me a second here. I'm split screening these. It's very important that you do that apparently. Credit for this guide goes to someone on Reddit from 3 years ago, but I figured I would make a video version and help people out. Not sure why I'm taking a second here. There we go. In case it's not clear, I'm using a keyboard cover, so it has a trackpad and a keyboard, and I'm also using my S Pen occasionally to show as a pointer right now. So you're going to install ADB, and so I tried to do it here, and the default download location wasn't working. I try it again here in a second by hitting up and checking what's installed. So then I tried it again. Still didn't work. So you'll see it says to use a certain command to change the repository. Termux-change-repo. And I do that. And I recommend if you have this problem, just change the repo and choose the GitHub repo. It'll be the one I select here in a second. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm just going to choose host it on GitHub release. It felt the most reliable. So now we're going to have that change it, and then we're going to install ADB again, and it works this time. You're going to hit yes to add additional space. And this is going to take a second. All right, now we need to, I did ADB to make sure it's working. I do ADB devices, I believe, here to check. Maybe I go straight into trying to connect to it. Yeah, so pairing code, you'll need to put in ADB. Oh, it's going to show the command here in a second. Yeah, yes, pair. And then you're going to put that IP address and then the port. And if you're going to have to use semicolons before the port, not a dot. And then you put the pairing code in. And it should now be connected. But you still have to do ADB connect to actually fully connect. And I was supposed to put the IP address and port again. I forgot right there. Just keep in mind the port is different now than the previous one you entered. So just be sure to check where it says IP address and port on the right hand side. I actually think I forget the 4 here. Yeah, I do. So then the command doesn't work and I have to do it again. Again, apologies. I go back and I put the 4 in. And now connected. Now we're going to run a couple of commands here. They will be in the description. This is me checking that it's connected to the device. Now we're going to run some commands so that it doesn't kill the processes while we're using RuneLite on the tablet. I tried to copy and paste these. I didn't sign into my Samsung account when I was doing this recording, so I couldn't just copy and paste from my phone. I also forgot the A in the beginning. But if you're doing it and you pair your phone to, or your computer to your tablet, when you copy it, it should then put it where you could paste it. If not, just type it all manually. That's not too bad. And when you have this all done, RuneLite will work just like it's on a computer. There's a couple ways you can go about it depending on the way you are going to be using it. If you don't have a trackpad or a mouse or a keyboard, you'll have to use your hands, and it's entirely doable. I'll show you the controls when we get there. And there's 3 commands you'll do here. This is the second one. This part's the most tedious, I promise. Because everything else you just quick commands and it installs, or once you get into the Andronox app, it'll actually copy it to your clipboard for you. You just paste it in. It'll do all the work. It's going to be the second command. This number we're putting is just the max integer value. I mean, it'll never get to that number, but this way there's max numbers, just what I'm going for here. And this one's a shorter command. It's not as terrible. Alright, now we're going to go to the next one. This is where we're going to go ahead and finish those commands. We can now exit that. I accidentally floated it. I meant to fully exit. It's my fault. Now we're going to go to Andronix. You're going to go to, you can ignore that error now. We're going to search up VNC. And I use the BVNC. It's just easy and quick. You're going to go to modded OS here in a second while that's installing. So I've already bought this one. I just had to sign in. It's $2. It's worth it to make it nice and easy. I log in with my Google account real fast. And that's done. And then now I can just go back to modded and Debian. I recommend getting the Debian one. It works the easiest, I promise. So we're going to hit proceed and hit install. And now you'll see it'll automatically copy it to your clipboard. You're going to open up Termux. And if you hit that button right there, it'll open it for you. I just went to it manually. I couldn't paste, which was annoying. So I had to hold and click, but then there's the command. And then it's going to start doing its thing. It's going to ask you a couple questions. Maybe. Oh yeah, here. So I put N, kept it default. And it's going to do all this. Get all these files and unpack them. We don't have a prior, so we kind of ignored this. It's going to ask for storage permissions, I believe, here in a second. We're going to hit allow. It's very important. And this part might take a while depending on your internet speed. All right, that's finished. So now it's going to do a lot of other things after you start it. So I'm going to show this here. It tells you to start it using, actually, it said the right thing in the Termux. Over here, it's going to, I don't know what this is. I just let this run for a few minutes. But I don't know if it's even doing anything. So just let it run for a couple minutes and then hit next. Alright, so now we're going to hit start Debian, which is what it copies to your clipboard. That's wrong. If you look up, it actually says Deb, not Debian. I don't know if Termux has changed or Aginix's download changed it, but once we run this command, it's going to do a whole bunch of like initial setup. It's just the first time. And you'll see it's just going to keep scrolling commands, and it's going to just do its thing, let it do its thing, don't touch it until it's completely done. And all right, with that done, it's going to ask us to create a user. I just do user, and I put user again for the full name, and for the passwords, I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all going to be local on your tablet. Security doesn't really matter. It's all a virtual emulated RAN thing, so it's not too important that you make it super secure. Then it'll verify what you wrote. Remember that info. When you set your password, that's also going to be the password for the VNC server. This does take a minute. All right, and then you're going to start the server using VNC server start, and you can stop it with VNC server stop. You could use auto detect. I just did this way to showcase it. This way, if you wanted to do a very specific resolution or specific IP and port, and I just did 2K on there. I put a port of 2, which the default is 1. Once this is all ready, so that's done, I'm going to open up the VNC app I downloaded. Right there. We're going to hit close. We're going to set a new one, and we're going to put, for the server, localhost. It'll always be localhost. And then I'm going to change the port to 2. And then the password again is going to be the password you set before. We'll save that. I double check the settings of it to make sure. Sometimes it's a little iffy, and it all is still good. Now I tap it, and we are now into Debian. So now what do we do? I'm going to open up the terminal right off the bat and install Java. I think the first thing I do is attempt to update everything. I should have used upgrade. If you want to attempt this yourself, do upgrade instead of update. You have to put your password in. It won't show it as you type it, so don't let that worry you. This fails for some reason. I don't know if it just couldn't find the right repository, but I stopped worrying about it. So we're going to run the command to install Java. Be sure to sudo it. Going to confirm the storage size change, and then it's going to install Java. And once that is done, we are going to download the RuneLite jar file. And then I verify that it's installed by running java --version. This will confirm that it was installed. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that now, or I close it out. I probably just minimize it. Yeah, I close it out. And then I'm going to open the web browser, and I'm going to search RuneLite. Go to the website, and the download is there, and you have to choose universal application or whatever it says there. Make sure it says the jar file. I'm gonna hit keep because it's gonna say, hey, this might not run super safe, but that's fine. Now, in order to, sorry, I'm using like my finger instead of the trackpad, so it's a little harder. Now we need to make a document on the desktop to run that file. And yes, I was clicking the wrong file icon for a second there. I'm going to go to my downloads. And the file is there. Sorry, I'm accidentally moving the screen around. I'm going to change the permissions on that in a second, I guess. Create an empty file. And I'm just going to name it RuneLite, and it's going to be on the desktop. And you're going to put a very specific code in here. And that command tells it it should be an executable file. And now I'm going to right click it and go to properties and go to permissions and enable it to be executed. Once I've done that, I'm going to close these out and I'm going to run the file. And RuneLite is now opening. We have now got RuneLite to run. I'll go ahead and get it all running to show you everything. It's going to install all the stuff it does at first. I'm going to make this bigger. You got your plugins bar over there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and log in real quick. I'll see you in a second. And I'm now in, and I'm just going to hit play. Now I'm going to change the setting so it will rescale, because right now it's real tiny. I'm going to choose resizable modern. That's what I prefer. And now it's full screen. I'm going to go ahead and install the Quest plugin. And I'm going to show you some of the controls here. I'm going to change the input mode to direct hold. Very, very important. If I use 3 fingers, I can turn the camera. I accidentally clicked first. So 3 fingers will turn the camera. 2 fingers will zoom in and out. Now I have a trackpad, so I use that to click around. I right click like that. If you do not have a trackpad, you can go into your settings of RuneScape and enable single mouse button mode. But other than that, that's all there is to it. Maybe takes 20 minutes to get it all done, but it's worth it. And now you have RuneScape on your tablet with RuneLite on the go. This will also work on newer end phones. See you guys. I hope it works for you guys.